rumors are afoot in the NFL, whether it's Deshaun Watson, Tua, Sam Darnold. I mean, things are kind of crazy right now. So last night I was on Twitch, which you should be following me at twitch.tv/BroSchmoGaming. But me and the fans, we decided to put together a mock draft where nothing was off limits. We could make trades and things. It was wild. It was crazy. It's nice to see all the possibilities. And I was there just mediating. I let them make the picks, make the decisions, and I tried to keep everything within reason. And this is the mock draft we ended up coming up with. But before we get into that, what's crack-lacking? It's your boy BroSchmo. Just in case you did not know so, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content, and go ahead, leave a comment. It helps the video out a ton. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. Like I said, it was really fun last night, but we try to keep things also, again, in the realm of reason. So the Jaguars, it's Trevor Lawrence. It can't be any other pick. I mean, there's no trading down. Just keep it simple, stupid. Am I right? Now, the New York Jets, we could have went a variety of different avenues if we wanted to keep Sam Darnold, or maybe so we could trade back, take a receiver or Penei Sewell. But instead, we went the route of just getting a franchise cornerback and moving on from Darnold, though we didn't actually make a trade for Darnold in this. But we decided to go with Justin Fields. There are some real concerns that why you may have Zach Wilson above Fields, because Fields, sometimes he could hold the ball on for too long. He could be a bit conservative, but the guy's got pinpoint accuracy, especially on throws of 10 yards or more, especially towards the sidelines. He may not have the arm strength of Zach Wilson, but he does have good arm strength in his own right. So we went ahead, we decided to go with Fields. Now with this pick with the Dolphins, again, another pick that you could go a variety of different ways. I mean, some people even say get quarterback. We decided not to do that. We decided the best option was to trade out of this pick. So we decided to do so, and we traded with the Panthers. Because Panthers, they coming up. They're coming up, and you know what they're coming up for. They're coming up to grab their franchise quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. He is a bridge quarterback. So in the end, we decided to go, because this pick is going to be, if a team's trading up, you know they're trading for a quarterback. So you know this pick is going to be very valuable. So we decided to take the first rounder this year, the first rounder in the 2022 draft, as well as a fifth rounder in this draft. And move back. Basically, we moved back 8. We gained a first rounder in the next draft. We're getting a fifth rounder this year. So the Dolphins, they traded back. We went ahead. We grabbed Zach Wilson, quarterback of the future, for the Panthers. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, no quarterback on the board. We could go receiver. Receiver was a real possibility here when we were discussing it, but we decided ultimately, let's go ahead. Let's address the defense. The defense needs help. I mean, we could trade back here, but who's really trading up for, like, unless I guess you're trading up for a receiver or Penei Sewell? I think teams rather not. So we ended up going with Micah Parsons, because this guy, he says he's an edge rusher at heart, and the numbers say it. You know, when this guy, he puts on pressure when asked to do so. He can take on offensive linemen. So Micah Parsons, he isn't just a linebacker. You can do a variety of different things with him. Much like with the Cincinnati pick, it's much like the Jaguars pick. Keep it simple, stupid. We went Penei Sewell. We need protection for Joe Burrow. The Philadelphia Eagles, again, a variety of ways we could go. Do they move on from Wentz and believe Hurts isn't it? So do they go quarterback? We didn't go quarterback. We decided to, again, just kind of keep it simple. Let's grab the best receiver on the board. We have Jalen Reagor there, who kind of acts as a Deshaun Jackson. So we got his Alshon Jeffrey being Jamar Chase, except for Chase has way more upside. Some people want this to be Devontae Smith. I think Jamar Chase would be the better fit, and just the better counterpart, I guess, the better running mate for Reagor. Honestly, however you rank the top, like however you rank Waddle, Chase, and Smith, it really depends what you're looking for. They're all really good. They're all really close together in terms of ranking. So I don't think it really matters that much. It really just matters what you're looking for. Speaking of that, we ended up going receiver for the Lions because we were like, we're going to be with Matthew Stafford for at least another year. Even if, it'd be a big cap hit still to even trade him this offseason, which it can happen. But we decided not to do that. A lot of people want to go defense, but rookies typically aren't going to make an immediate impact on your defense. Typically, rookie playmakers, they start fast out of the gates. So with the top 3 receivers for the Lions all being free agents, and I imagine they're going to re-sign or maybe franchise tag Kenny Golladay, they're like, who can we pair? Who would be a better fit next to Golladay? Would it be Smith or would it be Waddle? And we ultimately thought, you know what? It'd be Waddle. Waddle's amazing with the ball in his hands. He's great after the catch. He can stretch the field vertically. He's just a better athlete overall compared to Smith. And Smith, there's a lot of things he does good in his own right, but I think Kenny Golladay does those same things. Kenny Golladay is a very good contested catch guy. He's very physical at the catch point. And Smith, he's kind of similar in that regard. So we went with Waddle. And then the Dolphins, hey man, we were cool. Like we wanted one of the receivers here, and we were cool with whichever one dropped us, whether it had been Chase, Waddle, and Smith. Smith ended up falling to us. Is perfect. He reunites with Tua. So Dolphins, they make out good here. The Denver Broncos, we could have went a variety of different ways. We could have went quarterback, but then we were like, well, they're likely going to bring in a veteran to compete or mentor Drew Lock or until they could find a replacement for Drew Lock. So they'll probably go the veteran route. So instead, let's go corner because, at the end of the day, Patrick Surtain II, he's just a phenomenal fit for Vic Fangio's coverage scheme there, being press zone corner. So we went with that. Dallas, we kept with corner as well. We could have went a variety of different ways, but they really need help in the secondary, among other places. But Caleb Farley, he's got those elite traits to be a shutdown corner. So let's bet on those traits. Here, the Giants, they could have gone a variety of different ways. Kyle Pitts is on the board. That would be awesome. Kwity Paye would be an awesome fit as well. Trey Lance is here, man, if they don't believe Danny Dimes is this guy. Ultimately, we decided to trade down. Joe Judge, dude, he's coming from the Patriots. You think he might have the mentality to trade down, gather more picks? Maybe, maybe not, but we did that anyway here. So we ended up trading with the Bears. So the Bears give up their first, their second, and a third in the 2022 draft, while the Giants, they're going to give up their first, so the Bears move up to 11, as well as their third this year. So we go ahead and do that. Bears, they're getting a quarterback of the future. You can't honestly, you're going to be stuck in this 6 cycle of just mediocrity words if you stick with Mitch Trubisky. So let's go ahead and get Trey Lance, who he has a lot of Josh Allen-esque traits. He's got big athletic upside. He's got a huge arm, a guy you can develop. Look at how Josh Allen, first 2 seasons we saw slow progression, and then his third season, just massive. Not saying the same could be true for Lance, but he does have that upside. He's got those tools that you just drool about. So the Bears, they grab their, hopefully, franchise quarterback here. 49ers, this was the thing. The Bears, if any team that wanted Trey Lance would have to jump the Niners if he ended up making it past the Broncos, which he did in this. So we're stuck here, and I would like to trade down here, but I don't think any teams are really trying to trade down unless, honestly, it's for Kyle Pitts. But we ended up not really finding it, like thinking of anyone that would trade up. The Cardinals were was a real consideration, but they really lacked the draft capital to make a move like that. So we ended up sticking with the pick. So We were like, okay, well, the top 2 corners off the board. J.C. Horn, is he a bit of reach here? I don't know. Trent Williams likely might not be able to re-sign the guy. So we ended up going with Christian Darrisaw to be the replacement to Trent Williams. You got to like the athletic upside, the physical upside of Darrisaw. So we ended up with, the guy's got those traits. It could honestly sneak into the top 10. So we grabbed him right here. Now the Chargers, we wanted a tackle. Didn't happen. Kyle Pitts is very tempting. So we were like, okay, dude, even Kwity Paye. So we were thinking, okay, maybe trade back because this is a very tackle deep class. We could trade back and still get a quality tackle. So we ended up making the trade. So we ended up trading with the Titans. That's right. The Titans end up moving all the way up to 13. Where are the Chargers? There they are. So the Chargers, they give up their first, and they actually give up their second, third round pick this year, while the Titans, they'll give up their first and their second. So essentially the Titans, their next pick won't be till 85, but then they'll have the 97th and the 101st pick. So they'll have 3 third round picks. So it's not necessary. It's not bad for the Titans because they're gonna get Kwity Paye with this pick. Kwity Paye has got huge upside. He brings a different element than Harold Landry would on the opposite side. Something that they were hoping to get in Jadeveon Clowney. So again, Paye, he's a guy that really showed tremendous improvement. Like the things we wanted to see from technique, hand counters, just overall, just pass rush moves. He showed this season. So Titans, we trade up, we grab him there, and then the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, we could go get some help for the defensive line. Like Christian Barmore is a real thought here. So was Kyle Pitts actually, because I mean Kyle Pitts, he's a hard to pass up prospect once you get out of the 10, like the top 10. Really hard to pass up on that guy. But we decided to go with the offensive line. They need some help. Ezra Cleveland, is he the next tackle of the future, or is they're going to keep him at guard? I think they probably keep him at guard, but let's get a guy who might have that type of versatility in Rashawn Slater. I think he's best at left tackle. I think he's athletic enough. He's very technically sound to be able to stay on the outside, but he can't. Some people think he can project better to guard. So if it doesn't work out, we could always move him to the interior. So Slater here, I think, is great value. Then the New England Patriots could have went a variety of different ways. Trading out, we were like, trading out is probably the most likely situation here, especially with Kyle Pitts on the board. But we were like, screw it, we're going to take Kyle Pitts. Because, I mean, Kyle Pitts, making it here at 15, I mean, he's a guy that really can change, just be a mismatch nightmare for teams. He gets very good separation when lined up in the slot or on the in line, especially if you got a safety or a linebacker stacked up on him. He has experience on the outside, so Pitts is just a very versatile weapon. A lot of people, you can compare him to like a Darren Waller, and with the huge upside of Travis Kelce. Like I said, that's very big upside. That's why Darren Waller may be a little bit more realistic. So we're going to go with that there. Cardinals love to trade down because it would be awesome if a guy like Waddle, Pitts, or one of the corners falls here. It didn't really happen. Couldn't really think of anyone that would trade up or want to trade up, so we kind of felt stuck with this pick. But J.C. Horn is a very good corner. He's definitely a first round worthy corner. He's very physical. He does have some athletic upside. And honestly, Patrick Peterson, he's in the waning years of his career, but they never really were able to put someone next to Peterson. So we're going to go ahead and just do that right now. And then the Las Vegas Raiders. They need pass rush. Gus Bradley, is now their defensive coordinator. He is actually, I think he, last couple of years in terms of defensive coordinators, he brings the least amount of blitzes, and it was like by 4%, which is a pretty large margin. I think it was only like he blitzes like 16% of the time. So he really relies on getting pressure from that front four. Oakland had one of the worst pass rushes this season. So we were thinking, okay, maybe Christian Barmore. Instead, we went with the guy I'm really high on in Azeez Ojulari. This guy, there might be questions in terms of how will he be able to convert speed to power at the next level. He's only a redshirt sophomore, so there's a lot of filling he can do in his body. But he is one of the craftiest pass rushers in this class. You watch his tape, he just has that it factor, that just sick bend around the edge, that flexibility. So we went with him here. The Miami Dolphins, this pick I really disagree with. I'm just going to put that out there. They decided to go with this. I was against it. They went with Najee Harris, the running back at Alabama. I don't like the idea of drafting a running back in the first round. I think the only time you draft a running back in the first round is typically probably late in the first round if they're a generational talent, and if you have the luxury to do so, meaning that you're pretty deep at valuable positions. I don't think the Dolphins are deep at some of their positions of value. I think they could probably address other spots, maybe like the line, maybe somewhere on defense, whether it's pass rush, linebacker, shoot. I wouldn't mind grabbing another safety, but they grab Harris. It doesn't mean I don't like Harris as a prospect. I really do. I think he's like my second or third running back in this class. It's just, man. I just thought we could have addressed other areas. But they went with Najee Harris. Najee Harris, phenomenal back. So, yeah, there's that. This pick, and I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you. So we decided to make the trade for Deshaun Watson with the Washington football team. I think this is probably one of the, there's a chance he can go here, but I think it's not very likely if Deshaun Watson is to be moved. But we ended up grabbing Deshaun Watson. We gave the Texans our first round pick this year, so the 19th pick, our first round pick in the 2022 draft, as well as taking on some of that dead cap that they're going to have from letting go of Watson, because they're going to have $51 million in dead cap this season, just because of all the guaranteed money promised to Watson. But I think it's worth it if Washington can get their franchise quarterback. And they also get Alex Smith, but they could honestly release him if he's too strenuous on the cap, because I think he's owed $20 million. But in this scenario, you're able to still grab something for Watson, being a first rounder this season and a first rounder next season. Keep in mind, you're probably in rebuild mode at this point, which now with the new GM and then the new coach, yeah, I think why not just start your rebuild, start fresh, especially if Watson what's out there. And again, we're just exploring possibilities. So we gathered more picks. Now we got 2 first-round picks in 2022. Maybe grab our franchise quarterback of the future in the 2022 draft. But with this pick, I think because it's likely that J.J. Watt will probably be released because he's, I think, owed $17 million. And they could, again, with how tight they're going to be cap-wise, I think they wouldn't mind getting rid of that much cap. So we grabbed a guy who could be similar, or at least he has the physical upside to be like that. And probably Gregor Rousseau, he probably, honestly, if we're throwing comps out, physically, he could be a Javion Clowney. Honestly, again, it's just, will he reach that potential? Because he is a raw prospect, but you're in a rebuild. You have time to develop a guy. So getting him here at 19, I think is very solid. Excuse me. And then the New York Giants. Yes, we came back all the way here. We grabbed picks, and here we are. Well, I mean, going edge, receiver, we could go a variety of different ways. But ultimately, we were like, hey, getting Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah with Joe Judge would be scary, dude. I mean, Joe Judge, he really knows how to best utilize his defense. So let's give him a guy you could kind of move around here. And then the Indianapolis Colts. Again, Mac Jones was a consideration. Didn't end up doing it. We kind of think maybe Phillip Rivers comes back. But Anthony Costanzo, he ended up retiring. And ultimately, we were like, Samuel Cosme's really good value here. He's a guy that has experience at right and left tackle. So just in case they thought maybe if Braden Smith, they decide to move him to the left, though I doubt it. So Cosme provides very good value here. So bam, we got Cosme with the Colts. Chargers, we just missed out on Cosme, who would have been really good fit for their blocking scheme. I guess it kind of depends now that Anthony Lynn's gone. But regardless, we really wanted to address the offensive line. And we could grab a guy like Anthony Leatherwood or Alex Leatherwood, but instead we decided to go on the interior because Elijah Vera Tucker, dude, he's got pretty decent athletic upside. He would really be good for a zone blocking scheme if they keep that. Then again, a lot of NFL teams are starting to move towards a zone blocking scheme because, again, the NFL is just getting more and more athletic. But he's a guy that also has experience at left tackle this season, and he did pretty darn well. So a guy that gives you a bit of versatility. So I like Vera Tucker with this pick. The New York Jets. Again, a variety of different ways. We knew we wanted to hit a position of value. So whether it was somewhere on defense, being corner, maybe pass rusher, or wide receiver, we ultimately went with wide receiver. And we were like, hey, let's pair Fields up with his wide receiver, being Chris Olave. So Olave, very good separator, especially saw that in the Clemson playoff game. So you got him with Fields, and I think you got a really good now young nucleus there on offense. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I tried. I was like, hey, guys, let's maybe make a trade for Sam Darnold. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think Sam Darnold's going to get a first, I don't think he's worth a first rounder, but we could give up a late first round and also acquire later picks while acquiring Sam Darnold. That was kind of my mindset with that. They shot it down. They said, screw you. Instead, they decided to help the offensive line. They do have some free agents on that offensive line. They went with Alex Leatherwood, man. A guy, very physical, one of the better pass protectors in this class. And keep in mind, this guy back in his last year of high school, he was the top tackle in his recruiting class, a 5-star recruit. The same class as Jedrick Wills, I believe, or I think it was Tristan Wirfs. So, it might have been both those guys. Not positive. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was Wirfs. So there is some good value there when it comes to Leatherwood. I think he's a first-round tackle. I think there's a good chance he might slide out of the first round, though. Because, again, this is actually a very good tackle class, and this is just a good draft class in general. So good prospects are going to fall. It's going to happen. I'm sorry. All right. On to the Jaguars. We decided to go with the defense because, their defense needs help. Didn't go corner. There wasn't really a corner that caught our eye. We went with Christian Barmore, man. He was phenomenal in the playoffs, just wreaking havoc on the Ohio State offensive line. Did it against the Notre Dame offensive line. Both those, those are really good offensive lines, especially on the interior. So no small feat. Probably the best pass rush lineman in this class. So we went with them here. So you got a good young rotation there on the interior for the Jags. And then the Cleveland Browns, we knew we wanted linebacker. We wanted it bad. We just had to pick between Zaven Collins and Nick Bolton. And ultimately, we decided Bolton is probably more of what they were looking for. a nice run, a guy that can stop the run. He could go in there and fill gaps, take on blocks, but also one of the better pass coverage linebackers in this class. So we went with Bolden, and honestly, that's what's going to happen, like, with these linebackers, with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, with Xavier Collins, with Nick Bolden. It's really going to be what those teams are looking for in their linebacker. What do they think fits best for their scheme? So they're going to have these guys ranked differently than most of us are. So I know a lot of people are probably pounding the table for Collins, but we ended up thinking Bolden was the better fit. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we knew we wanted an immediate starter. We considered Xavier Collins. We considered it, especially with Levante David, I think, being a free agent this season. But ultimately, we were like, let's get edge, because Shaq Barrett is probably not coming back, or especially, I don't think they're going to throw him on another franchise tag. We went with Joseph Osai, very good edge rusher out of Texas, especially this season when they were like, asked him, hey, just put your hand in the dirt and go at it. The last couple of seasons, he does have experience being a stand-up kind of hybrid linebacker, so they could use him in that fashion if they really wanted to. But regardless, I think they get an immediate starter here. And then the Ravens, they could have went a variety of different ways. We could have went safety. I tried to pitch them safety, but they weren't listening to me. Wyatt Davis could have been a pick here. Ultimately, Rashad Bateman, it was just too good to pass up. I think Teddy Bridgewater would like a guy with a big catch radius, and that is Bateman. And then the Saints, Xavier Collins, ya fall no more. So the Saints, they drafted Zach Bond just last season, but Xavier Collins is a much better version of that. It is what it is. The Buffalo Bills, they kind of have the luxury of going wherever they want. We could go guard, we go corner, edge rusher. This is a team that has very good depth on the roster, so they could just really add whoever's the top guy off their board. Ultimately, we went with a corner because Josh Norman, he's coming to the end of his career, guys. Just saying. And I think Levi Wallace is a free agent as well. But we went with Eric Stokes. Some people are high on Tyson Campbell. Me. Some people hate him. They apparently everyone hated when I pitched Campbell, but they went with Stokes. Stokes is not nearly as fluid as an athlete as Campbell, but Stokes in his own right might be further along technique-wise. He was shut down. His ball skills were a bit better than Campbell's this season, so there are reasons to like Stokes. So don't get me wrong there. And then the Green Bay Packers. Oh man, we could go a variety of different ways. I think honestly this was probably the best option. They're probably not going to go receiver in the first round, but we wanted to go receiver in the first round. Terrace Marshall, he is everything that the Packers want from MVS, and that they aren't getting. A big-bodied speedster with great ball skills. MVS, you just ain't cutting it. So we grabbed Marshall here, and then with the final pick, we were thinking Rondale Moore, Kadarius Toney, a lot of fun picks, for the Chiefs, because offensively, just add more weapons. Why not? We thought about defensively, Jason Owe helped get some pass rush. Nixon, the defensive interior out of Iowa, was a consideration. Ultimately, we ended up going actually with guard because they could probably use an upgrade there on the interior. Wyatt Davis, very solid pick. He did have a bit of a down season compared to his but his 2019 was just unbelievable. So a little regression was to be expected. But dude's one of the best run blockers in this draft class, and on top of that, he is a pretty solid pass protector as well. And there it is, dude. This was what we came up with on the Twitch A. And honestly, I can see some of this stuff happening. I mean, in the end, it was all for fun, and we had a great time doing it. I mean, especially with trades, when you get trades involved, things just get crazy. I mean, Carolina trading up. back to back to back wide receivers. Trey Lance, Bears trading up for Trey Lance. I mean, Tennessee trading up for Kwity Paye was wild. The Texans getting back in the first round, but having to give up Deshaun Watson. I mean, that was one of the main things I really wanted to kind of look over. It was like, what can we do with Deshaun Watson if he really does leave the Texans? Because I honestly believe he won't. I don't think he leaves the Texans. But it's a very real possibility he might. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for the video. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.